और अविद्या का नाश करते हैं। वैदिक शास्त्र उनके चरित्र का गान करते हैं। हे गुरुदेव, करुणा सिंधु तथा पतित आत्माओं के मित्र, आप सबके गुरु एवं सभी लोगों के जीवन हैं। हे गुरुदेव, मुझ पर दया कीजिए तथा मुझे अपने चरणों की छाया दीजिए। आपका यश तीनों लोकों में फैला हुआ है। जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद गुरु पूजा की जय।
जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजक जष्टोत्तर सति शिष्यमद अभय चरणारविंद भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी महाराज श्रील प्रभुपाद की। ISKCON founder Acharya Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai Nitya Lila Vishnu Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakacarya Ashtottara Sati Shishimad Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Prabhupada ki Sakshat Vairagya Murti Srila Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj ki Srila Satchirananda Bhakti Vinod Thakur ki Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj ki Shri Rup Sanatan Bhatta Raghunath Shri Jeev Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunath Sad Goswami Prabhu ki Namacharya Srila Haridas Thakur ki Prem se kaho Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda ki Shri Shri Radha Krishna Gopinath Shyama Kund Radha Kund Giri Govardhan ki Vrindavan Dham ki Navadvip Mayapur Dham ki पुरुषोत्तम क्षेत्र जगन्नाथ पुरी धाम की गंगा माई की जामुना माई की भक्ति देवी की श्रीमती तुलसी महारानी वृंद देवी की श्री श्री राधा माधव की श्री श्री गौरनिताय की पतित पावन श्री सचिनंदन गौर हरि की श्री श्री लक्ष्मी प्रहलाद महाराज की हरे कृष्ण महामंत्र की भुवन मंगल श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की ग्रंथराज श्रीमद-भागवतम की द्वादश महाजन की ISKCON चंडीगढ़ की all glories to some devotees, all glories to some devotees, all glories to some devotees, all glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Shri Guru Gauranga. जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन यशोदानंदन व्रज जनरंजन Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jai Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yashodanandana Vraja Janaranjana Yamunatiravanachari Yamunatiravanachari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajakachaja Ashtottara Sati Srimad Bhagavatam Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Srila Prabhupada ki Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki All glories to Samul devotees, all glories to Samul devotees, all glories to Samul devotees, all glories to Shri Guru Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayat Nashta Prayesha Baddeshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. This morning we're reading Srimad-Bhagavatam, Canto 5, Chapter 1, Text 2.
तो आज हम श्रीमद् भागवतम पंचम स्कंद पहला अध्याय श्लोक नंबर 2 पढ़ेंगे. प्रभु जी, should I do and ask devotees whether they can understand English? We can skip the translation part.
It's up to you, but we shouldn't leave anybody out also. We shouldn't neglect anyone also. We shouldn't neglect anybody.
I understand. Just asking. हरे कृष्णा, आप में से कितने भक्तों को हिंदी में अनुवाद चाहिए होगा? 1 2 3, ओके. फ्यू डिवोटीज. माता जी में से सबको इंग्लिश आता है? One option may be, Prabhuji, I can sit, one devotee can sit and translate them at the corner of the hall.
Whatever is best for the majority of devotees. Whatever is best for the majority of devotees.
Okay, there are 3 devotees, they want Hindi translation, 3 or 4 devotees.
So we'll continue with Hindi translation. We'll continue with Hindi translation.
You can sit on the corner, one devotee can translate from there.
Okay, as you like.
Or I can also translate from there, the corner.
That's so me. You decide what we're chanting.
We can try this time.
Okay. Nanuna mukta sangha. Nanuna mukta sanghanam. Tadvishanam dvijashabha. Vihesha benaveshoyam. Kum sambhavitum arhati. Nanunam mukta sanghanam. Tadvishanam dvijashabha. Vihesha benaveshoyam. Kum sambhavitum arhati. Nanunam mukta sanghanam. Tadvishanam dvijashabha. Vihesha benaveshoyam. Kum sambhavitum arhati. Please chant. Pranam vijashabha. Ladies. So translation or no translation?
अनुवाद ऐसे शब्दार्थ न नहीं नूनम निश्चय ही मुक्त संज्ञानम विरक्त तादृशानाम ऐसे द्विज ऋषभ हे ब्राह्मणों में श्रेष्ठ विप्रवर गृहेषु गृहस्थ जीवन में अभिनिवेश अत्यधिक आसक्ति अयम यह पुंसाम मनुष्य को भवितुम होना अर्हति संभव है। अनुवाद तथा तात्पर्य कृष्ण के प्रमुख श्री श्रीमद् भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी प्रभुपाद के द्वारा श्रील प्रभुपाद की जाए। भक्तजन निश्चय ही मुक्त पुरुष होते हैं, अतः हे विप्रवर वे संभवतः गृह कार्य में निमग्न नहीं रह सकते। तात्पर्य भक्ति रसामृत सिंधु में कहा गया है कि मनुष्य ईश्वर की भक्ति करने से जीवात्मा की दिव्य स्थिति की ओर तथा पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान को जान सकता है। पूर्ण पुरुषोत्तम भगवान को भक्ति के अतिरिक्त अन्य किसी साधन के द्वारा नहीं जाने जा सकते। श्रीमद् भागवतम में इसकी पुष्टि स्वयं श्री भगवान करते हैं। भक्त्याहम एकया ग्राह्यः, भक्ति में सेवा संपन्न करके ही मुझे जाना जा सकता है। इसी प्रकार श्रीमद् भगवद-गीता में भगवान श्री कृष्ण कहते हैं भक्त्या माम अभिजानाति, केवल भक्ति द्वारा मुझे समझा जा सकता है। अतः गृहस्थ जीवन में लिप्त होना भक्त के लिए असंभव है, क्योंकि भक्त तथा उसके साथी मुक्त होते हैं। प्रत्येक प्राणी आनंद की खोज में रहता है, किंतु इस भौतिक जगत में कभी भी आनंद नहीं मिल सकता। इसकी प्राप्ति केवल भक्ति में सेवा में संभव है। पारिवारिक कार्यों में आसक्ति तथा भक्ति में कोई मेल नहीं है। अतः महाराज परीक्षित को ये सुनकर कुछ आश्चर्य हुआ कि महाराज प्रियव्रत भक्ति के साथ साथ गृहस्थ जीवन में भी आसक्त थे। हरे कृष्ण।
You can read translation and purport for text 3 and 4 also.
श्लोक संख्या 3 का अनुवाद तथा तात्पर्य। जिन उन्नत महात्माओं ने उन पुरुषोत्तम भगवान के चरण कमलों की शरण ली है, वे उन चरण कमलों की छाया से पूर्णतया तृप्त होते हैं। उनकी चेतना कभी भी कुटुंबी जनों में आसक्त नहीं हो सकती। तात्पर्य। श्री नरोत्तम दास ठाकुर ने गाया है, निताई पद कमल कोटि चंद्र सुशीतल ये छाया जगत जुड़ाया। उन्होंने भगवान नित्यानंद के चरण कमलों की छाया की इतना शीतल तथा सुंदर बताया है कि भौतिक कार्यों की अग्नि से सदैव संतप्त रहने वाले समस्त भौतिकवादी उन चरण कमलों की छाया में आकर पूरी शांति पाते हैं और तृप्त हो जाते हैं। पारिवारिक जीवन तथा आध्यात्मिक जीवन का अंतर वही समझ सकता है जिसने परिवार में रहने के कष्ट भोगे हैं। अतः जो एक बार श्री भगवान के चरण कमलों की शरण में पहुंच जाता है, वह फिर पारिवारिक जीवन के कार्यकलापों के प्रति आकृष्ट नहीं होता। जैसा कि श्रीमद् भगवद-गीता 2 अध्याय की 2.59 में कहा गया है, परम दृष्ट्वा निवर्तन्ते। अच्छा स्वाद चखने के पश्चात मनुष्य निम्न कार्यों का त्याग कर देता है। इस प्रकार श्री भगवान के चरण कमल की शरण में आते ही मनुष्य गृहस्थ जीवन से विरक्त हो जाता है। श्लोक संख्या 4 का अनुवाद। राजा ने आगे पूछा, हे विप्रवर, मेरा सबसे बड़ा संदेह यही है कि राजा प्रियव्रत जैसे व्यक्ति के लिए जो अपनी पत्नी, संतान तथा घर के प्रति इतने आसक्त है, कृष्ण भक्ति में सर्वोच्च अविचल सिद्धि प्राप्त कर पाना कैसे संभव हो सका। तात्पर्य। राजा परीक्षित को आश्चर्य हुआ कि जो व्यक्ति पत्नी, बच्चों तथा घर के प्रति इतना आसक्त हो, वह किस प्रकार महान कृष्ण भक्त हो सकता है। प्रहलाद महाराज ने कहा, मतिन्न कृष्णे परतो सुतो वा मितो विपद्यत गृहव्रतान। एक गृहवती अर्थात जिसने गृह कार्य का पालन करने का व्रत ले रखा हो, वह कभी कृष्ण भक्त नहीं हो सकता, क्योंकि अधिकांश गृहव्रती इंद्रिय तृप्ति में लगे रहते हैं। अतः वे भौतिक अस्तित्व के अंधतम स्थानों में गिर जाते हैं। अदांत गोविंद विशताम तमिश्रम। भला ऐसे व्यक्ति कृष्ण भक्ति में किस प्रकार पूर्णता प्राप्त कर सकते हैं। महाराज परीक्षित ने श्री सुखदेव गोस्वामी से इस बड़े संदेह को दूर करने की प्रार्थना की।
नमो ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी निति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पश्चात्य देश तारिणे। हे गुरो ज्ञानदादीन बंधो स्वानंददाता करुणैक सिंधो वृंदावनासीन हितावतार प्रसीद राधापने अपचार। नाम शिष्टमनुमपि सच्चिपुत्रमत्र स्वरूपम रूपम तस्यागजमुरपुरी मातरिं गोष्णवादिं Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasam Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi Vande Nantad Bhutashayam Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhum Nichopi Yat Prasadat Sad Bhakti Shastra Pavartaka Nityananda Maham Nomi Sarvananda Karam Param Harinama Padam Devam Avaduta Sharomanim Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaur Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Vrindaye Tulsi Devai Priyaye Keshavasya Krishna Bhakti Pradidevi Satyavataina Mano Vancha Kopatu Bishta Kripa Sindhu Bevacha Patitanam Pavanibhyo Vaishnavibhyo Namo Namaha. The first point that Srila Prabhupada makes, are we going to translate what he's doing over here? Okay. The first point that Srila Prabhupada makes in the purport is that the only means to understand the personality of Godhead is by bhakti. This is a very important thing. He can't be understood by jnana, by yoga, by karma. Jnana means I'm going to figure out everything by myself, by the power of my intellect, by the power of my scholarship, by the power of my austerity, I will understand God. They want to climb up to reach to God. Ramanujacharya, the great South Indian Acharya and pure devotee of the Lord Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, said he was avatar of Lord Nityananda. So he asked his disciples once, what is better, the way a cat carries its kitten or the way a monkey carries its baby? What is the answer? Cat carrying kitten. Why? Kitten is totally dependent, and with love the cat is moving the kitten here, moving it there, but the baby monkey is holding on for dear life. Mother monkey is jumping through the trees like this, and the baby monkey is trying to hold on and not fall down and die by its own strength. So the process of jnana means by my own strength. And Krishna says in Bhagavad-gita, Bahunam janmanam ante jnanava mam prapadyate Vasadeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlava. After many, many births of trying to understand God, of cultivating jnana, one who is jnanavan, who is actually full, who has understood the objective of jnana, he surrenders to me. So why take to jnana? You can skip over the whole process, surrender to Krishna, and get the highest result. So he's not understood by jnana, he's not understood by yoga. Yoga, the first proposition of yoga is jnana indriya samyama. Yoga indriya samyama, to control your senses. And nobody wants to do that. In America, they have these yoga studios in the mall. Bhagavad-gita teaches us in the 6th chapter, one has to be in a sacred place, sitting on a deer skin with kusha straw, fixing the mind, and they're going to the yoga studio in the mall. They pay $20 and they for a fee to attend the class, and they buy a cute little yoga outfit, kurta pajama, and a yoga mat, and they go to the yoga studio with their yoga girlfriend. This is not yoga. If the actual principles of yoga were taught, yoga indriya samyama, the preliminary understanding, the first thing to understand about yoga, you have to control your senses. If they taught this, every yoga studio in America would be empty today. But yoga studios are good actually, because devotees go there and they do kirtan. They like kirtan. So devotees set up programs with them, they do kirtan, distribute prasadam, and Hari Bol. So yoga cannot give you the result. Sometimes yogis, to perform austerity, in the middle of the blazing heat of May, June, will meditate with building fire around their body. And in the freezing winter of December, January, they'll immerse their body up to the neck in the freezing cold water of Ganga. Just to do austerity, to separate their consciousness from their body. That's good. But they'll never get prema. They'll never get love of God, the highest objective of life. Sometimes they'll stand on one leg or hold their arm up in the air for 30 years. It's like, Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. But how will they get prema? They'll never get it. Standing on one foot, burning fire, freezing water, yoga will never give the result. What is yoga? Yoginam api sarvesham madgetanantaratmana shraddhavan bhajate yomam samayukta tamo mataha. Krishna says, what is my opinion? Who is a yogi? Someone bhajate yomam, who worships me, shraddhavan, with faith and love. This is the highest type of yoga. Same thing, we can skip over all the other processes of yoga directly by taking to bhakti. Because bhakti is the only way to understand Krishna. And jnana, jnana, yoga, karma. Karma means fruitive work. That I give this much to the Lord and I want this much back. I'll give something to Him, I'll do some yajna, I'll do some katha, like people do this Satya-Narayan Katha, Satya-Narayan Bhagavan. And they have big festival, Doodh, Ghee, Gehun Ka Atta, Bolo Shri Satya-Narayan Bhagavan, Ki, Doodh. What is it? And the Katha teaches about how it's from ISKCON, it's authorized, it's not bogus, but it's karma kanda. How Lilavati and Kalavati, their life history, how they saw one Lakarahara, he's gathering wood, and he becomes prosperous. A merchant with pots, he does the katha, he becomes prosperous. So the objective is worship God and enjoy. Worship God and get the result. I give you, you give me. This is Baniya. He's a Vanik. Prahlad Maharaj says, don't become Vanik. Don't do business with the Lord. Bhakti means patram pushpam panam toyam yomi bhaktya parachiti tadaham bhakti upavritam ashnami prayatadma. Krishna is not in need of anything. Lakshmi sahasrasatasam brahmasebhyamanam govindam adi purusham. He's being worshipped by lakhs and crores of goddesses of fortune. Does he need our patram pushpam phalam? Does he need our dupam deepam naivedyam? He doesn't need any of it. What does he actually want? Yome bhaktya parachati. He wants our bhakti. He wants our love. If a mother says to her child, tell me you love me or no dinner. As soon as you tell me you love me, I'll feed you. And the child will say, okay, I love you. Can I eat now? Is this love for mother or love for food? Love is spontaneous. You can't tell some, love me, say you love me. It comes automatically from the heart. This is bhakti. So bhakti has to be cultivated because it's the only way by which we can approach the Supreme Personality of God. The Lord says, 11th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, Bhaktya tanannaya shakyam aham vidam vidorjana gyatum drashtum chatattvina pravishtam cha apurantapa. Only by ananya bhakti can I be understood as I am. When by ananya bhakti, gyatum, we can know Krishna. Drashtum, we can see Him, eye to eye and face to face. As I'm seeing you and you're seeing me, we can see Krishna, eye to eye and face to face by ananya bhakti. And that is not an easy thing. People say bhakti, it's a simple thing. Real thing is jnana. And bhakti is for old people and for children. And they tell cute stories about Makkan Chor, Giridhari. It's all very cute. This is the highest thing. Topmost, to understand Krishna in truth. By bhakti. Not by jnana, not by yoga, not by karma. Only by the process of bhakti. So this is the first point Srila Prabhupada makes. And he quotes Bhagavad-gita 18, Bhaktyamam avijanati yavanchasmi tattvata. That again, actually 3 places Krishna is saying the same thing. 3 places in Bhagavad-gita, he's emphasizing this principle that I can be known by bhakti. Because what is going on in the spiritual world? Are they doing yoga? No. Anyone standing on their head? Will you attract Krishna's attention if you can put your foot behind your neck? Shirshasana? Impossible. We can call this person who's teaching yoga a coach. He's like a physical fitness. What do they call these people when they're in the gym? A trainer. Someone teaching yoga in the Kali Yuga, we can say they're a trainer. Why? Because yoga means Ashtanga Yoga. Patanjali's Yoga Sutra describes Ashtanga Yoga. Asana is only 1/8 part. It begins Yam Niyam Pranayam Atyahara, ultimately Samadhi. There's Yam and Niyam. There's do's and don'ts, things that you're required to do and things that you're required to avoid. But they just teach asana, and now we're doing yoga. But they don't teach even the simplest thing. Be a vegetarian. Control your senses. Restrict sense gratification. These things they don't teach. So throughout Bhagavad Gita we find bhakti is the way. Love. Because Krishna is controlled by love. Like a child, if he comes before his father and says, I have this very delicious toffee. It is so nice. You please have one. Why? Because he loves his father. And the father thinks, oh, so nice. My son wants me to eat some delicious. Where did the child get the toffee? From his father. But when he says, you please take this. It's very tasty, very sweet. You have one. The father thinks, oh, so nice. My son loves me. So what does Krishna need from us? Nothing. He doesn't need anything. But we need to serve him. Once, when I was serving in Denver ISKCON, one of my responsibilities was to interact with the Hindu community. So I was invited to one puja. I got there a little early, parked my car, and things were going on, dragging, and it came time, I have to leave because I was also pujari. I have to leave, make an offering, offer arti. So someone parked their car right behind my car. How can I get out? So I have to find that person who belongs to the car. I finally located him and said, sir, please, if you can move your car, I have to go back to the temple to offer arti and offer bhoga to Bhagavan. He says, why do you have to do that? God doesn't need our service. I said, yes, sir, that's true. He doesn't need me, but I need him. We need to serve Krishna. Krishna doesn't need our service. And when we offer that loving service, he becomes controlled. He's controlled by bhakti. And this is the most astonishing thing, that the infinitesimal soul, Keshagra Shatabhaga Shatada Kopitasya cha 1/10,000th the size of a tip of a hair, 2 angstroms. Infinitesimal soul controls the infinite Supreme Lord. Yakara Narnava Jale Bhajadisma Yoga Nidyamananta Jagadanda Soroma Kupa Adhara Shakti Mavalambya Param Swamurtim Govinda Mari Purusham Tam. Millions of universes are coming from the pores of his hair, from a portion of Krishna, Govinda. But he becomes controlled by bhakti. This is the most astonishing thing. Mother Yashoda, Nanda Maharaj, said to Mother Yashoda, what can your Krishna do? What can he do? Yashoda Maya said, Krishna, go get your father's shoes. So Krishna is taking his father's shoes on his head. And he's coming to his father, yes, Father, here are your shoes. Supreme Lord, serving in this way. Parthasarati. Arjuna should be driving Krishna, serving Krishna. But Krishna has become a servant of his devotee. This is the essence of Bhagavad Gita. When the South Indian Brahmin was reading Bhagavad Gita, but he couldn't read because he's illiterate. He's holding the book upside down and he's trying to recite shlokas, and people are making fun of him, laughing. Mahaprabhu approached him, said, what are you doing? He said, my Guru Maharaj told me I have to read Bhagavad Gita every day, 18 chapters. But people say you're illiterate. Yes, I cannot read, but my Guru told me to do this. Mahaprabhu asked, but I see you're crying. Why are you crying? I cry because when I remember that Krishna The Supreme Personality of Godhead is so kind to his devotee, so loving to his devotee. He subordinates himself to his devotee. He becomes the servant of his devotee. Supreme Lord becomes servant of his devotee. And when I remember this, I cry. When I remember how much love the Lord has for his devotee, I cry. In Srimad-Bhagavatam, we remember the story of Durvasa Muni and Ambarish Maharaj. Without relating the whole story, Durvasa Muni made a great offense to Ambarish Maharaj, who was pure devotee, 100% pure devotee. Although he's a king, this is also significant. He's a great king with his treasury, his palace, his queens, his opulence, his army, but he's pure devotee, Rajashi. Jai Shri Shri Radha Madhav. So anyone can practice bhakti. Anyone can practice bhakti and achieve the highest destination. So Durvasa Muni made a great offense. He tried to kill Ambarish Maharaj for a slight, insignificant offense. And on account of that, he made sadhu ninda, and Sudarshan Chakra came to protect Ambarish Maharaj. And after protecting Ambarish, it turned on Durvasa Muni. Now when the chakra came in front of Ambarish Maharaj, as death personified, he simply folded his hands. Yes, this is Krishna. We all have to die someday, so why not now? Completely fearless. Let me die now, because kalosmi varachashama. Krishna says, I am time. Mrityu sarva haraschaham. And he comes to take everyone's life. So Maharaj Ambarish understood that. He folded his hands, let me die now. But when the chakra turned on Durvasa Muni, he began fleeing all over the universe, trying to save himself. He went all the way to Vaikuntha Loka, threw himself at the feet of Lord Vishnu, and said, save me! Save me! Lord said, I cannot. You have offended my devotee. At this point he speaks very beautiful shloka, glorifying his relationship with devotees. He said, Aham bhakta paradino, na sutantra ivadvaja, saudabhir grasta hridayam bhaktar bhakta jana priyaha. He says, I am under the control of my devotees. Na satantra, oh my dear Dvija, my dear Brahman, I have no independence. I am controlled by my devotees. Is this not astonishing? Supreme Lord says, I am controlled. Then he says, Saudabhir grasta hridayam, no. Saudunam hridayam tvaham sadunam hridayam. But anyway, I'm forgetting the verse. He says the devotees, you remember? Speak loudly. Sadunam hridayam tvaham sadunam hridayam. Nanantak, anyway. He's not. Nanyate na jananti. Naham tebyo jananapi. He says that the devotees, the sadhus, are in my heart. And I am in the heart of the sadhus, the devotees. I don't know anything but the devotees. And the devotees don't know anything but me. This is the intimacy of bhakti. And Krishna is controlled by this. This is why bhakti is the most difficult thing. It's not easy. It's the most difficult thing. But it gives the highest result. Love of God. So reading here, that devotees, because of their bhakti, are all liberated persons. Liberation doesn't mean merging into impersonal absolute. Bhagavatam says, Ye nyaya virvindvaksha vimukta maninas toyasta bhavad avishuddha bodheya avruya krishna parampadam tata padantyato nadrita yushmanangraya. The Mayavadi is saying, I have become liberated by Krishna sadhana. Impossible. Krishna sadhana means extreme austerity. You'll never get liberation by austerity. Krishna is not impressed. So by that, they may rise to Brahma, the Paramparam, the Brahma Jyoti. But because they don't take shelter of Krishna, because they say Krishna is Maya, they fall down to this world. Avruya Krishna parampadam tada pandantyadho nadati yushmanangra. They fall down to this because they say the feet of the Lord are Maya, a transformation of Sattva Gun. And the real thing is Brahmajyoti, impersonal, absolute. But Krishna says, Brahmano hi pratishtaham amritasya vivasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukasya kantikasya cha. Brahman rests on me. Aham sarvasya prabhavo. Everything comes from me, Supreme Lord. Not the other way around. They say Krishna, Ram, Nishinga, Vamana, all the Dasavatars, Lakshmi, Saraswati, Ganesh, Lord Shiva, they all are manifestation of Brahman. Take your pick. It's a box of candy. Take which one appeals to you. It's a salad bar. You're sitting, just make your plate as you like. No, Krishna says, Sarvadharmam puracha, Mam ekam sharanam. This is bhakti. But they say, Krishna is a manifestation of the modes of nature. So how can they take shelter? They fall down to this material world. So bhakti is the most difficult thing because we have to surrender. That's not such an easy thing. And because of that surrender, even we're approaching the process of surrender. Krishna says, Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha. Who is a Sudurlabha Mahatma? Who takes Satatam Kirtayanto Mam Yatantas Chadvidaprata. Who takes up the process of chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. We may be neophyte devotees, but even the beginning neophyte devotee is a liberated person. He's a liberated person. This argument came between Gopal Chapel and Haridas Thakur. Haridas Thakur is preaching the glories of the Lord, how even Nama Bhas will liberate. You become liberated even by Nama Bhas. A reflection of Shuddhanam. Not Shuddhanam, not the pure name, just a reflection of the holy name. So Gopal Chapel became very angry. He said, if that is true, then let my nose fall off. And he blasphemed Haridas Thakur, great devotee. In due course of time, all the beautiful limbs of his body, he was a beautiful Bengali Brahmin. His fingers began to rot away from leprosy. The nose began to rot away because of his offense to Haridas Thakur and his Namaparad. But Namabhas can liberate us. Devotees are liberated persons. But how can such liberated, the point we're discussing ultimately is how can a liberated person become attached to family affairs? And the answer is, he cannot. Prabhupada writes here, attachment for family, no. Maybe the other purpose. Anyway, he's saying, it's impossible. One cannot be attached to family affairs when it's liberated. And what does that mean? Does that mean no one takes to family life? No one becomes grihasta? That's not what it means. Was Bhaktivinoda Thakur and the Griham Andakupam, the dark well of family affair, were 7 out of 12 Mahajans? Griham Andakupam, the deep well of family life. What is the difference between the deep well of family life and liberated life? Bhaktivinoda Thakur said, Manasa Deho Geho Yokichimor Arpilantua Pade Nandakishore. Oh Nandakishore, my mind, my body, my home, Yokichimor, whatever little bit I call my own, I offer to you. And this is the only difference between Griha Andakupam, the dark well of family life, and pure devotional service. Because the devotee knows whatever I have is the Lord's property. Bhumara panalo vayu kamano buddhirevacha ahankara itiyame binna prakritarashtara. He knows everything, earth, water, fire, mind, ether, intellect, all belong to the Lord. The whole creation is His. So what does devotional life mean? Whatever I think is mine is not mine. It belongs to the Lord. It's His home, it's His car, it's His wife, it's His children, it's His everything. Yo kichu more. Whatever we think is ours is actually property of the Lord. Does that mean that we just neglect everything? But we take care of it as a steward. Steward means that person who takes responsibility for the maintenance of a particular property. So like, for example, in this temple, do we say, oh, this is all Lord's property, this is all His, let Him take care of it. It's your business, you take care of it. No, we're stewards. We say, this is the Lord's property. And we take extra special care because it's His. So in the same way, in family life, one should feel, this is Lord's house. I'm living in the Lord's house. I'm eating His prasad. I'm living with His devotees. I'm serving His devotees. And this is the difference between material life and spiritual life. Sometimes devotees ask me, in Bhakti Vriksha groups, particularly, always married people, typically head of household, how do I balance my material life and my spiritual life? How do I balance? Many people ask this question. What is the answer? Understand, for a devotee, our material life is not material exactly. It's spiritualized. If you're going to work to make money, just like any ordinary man. If one observes the activities of a devotee and the activities of a non-devotee, externally they appear to be the same. One man is going to work, making money. Other man's going to work, making money. But the consciousness is different. Our consciousness should be absorbed in Krishna. How this effort to collect money is connected with Krishna. How I'm taking this money and I'm maintaining my household, which is a mandir. Lord is there, Lord's picture, Lord's murti, and we're making money to support the mandir. I'm making money to serve Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis, my wife and children. I'm making money to buy bhoga to offer to Bhagwan. In this way we spiritualize our consciousness. Prabhupada said, Krishna consciousness. Everything is consciousness. External aspects of life are external and really insignificant. 90% or more of our Krishna consciousness is completely internal. Because the dress does not make the man. May put on get big huge tulsi mala, jata, big tilak, big beard. Does that make you a sadhu? Does it make you Krishna? Can it make you Krishna conscious? Impossible. Consciousness is everything. A devotee may be at work thinking, I wish I was at the temple. Devotees are doing kirtan there, they're eating nice prasadam, they're dancing, they're singing, but I have to be here at work. I'm so unfortunate. A person may be in the temple thinking about making money. Who is more Krishna conscious? A person at work who's feeling separation from Krishna and the devotees. So we shouldn't misunderstand this point that our progress in spiritual life is based on this, bhaktyamam abhijanati. The difference between material life and spiritual life, between griha mandakupam, the dark well of family life, and liberated life, is our relationship with Krishna, which is internal. What is our consciousness? Chaitasa sarva karmani mayi sanyasya matpara. Krishna says, in all activities, fix your consciousness on me. So whether one is at work, one is with family, one is in the altar worshipping the deity, one is in a college class preaching, everything is for Krishna. And this is actual sannyas. This is actual sannyas. Sannyas doesn't mean you dye your clothes and you wear a whole danda. That is sannyas ashram, no doubt. But every devotee should be sannyasi. And how is that? First verse, 6th chapter, Bhagavad-gita says, Anashritya karma phalam kayam karma kurochija sa sannyasi cha yogi cha na niragnyana chakriya. Sannyas doesn't mean performing no work, lighting no fire, and performing no work. This is the materialistic understanding of sannyas. Grihastha life means we have relationship with fire. You have to cook. We do agnihotra, swaha, swaha. And every day we're using fire to cook. Sannyasi has no home, so he has no relationship with fire. Does that make him a sannyasi? Krishna says no. He lights no fire and performs no work. Do we become a sannyasi, dear to Krishna, not by working, by sleeping on the footpath? We become dear to Krishna? Such sannyas? We're not interested in this type of sannyas. Krishna says, anashritya karma phalam. Sannyas means not taking shelter of the results of your labor. Practically speaking, what does that mean in Kali Yuga? Paycheck. People think, I have a nice paycheck. So nice. I'm getting 1 lakh rupees. I feel liberated. I have money. Money cannot solve your problems. Money is always a problem, actually. Because if you have money, you think, how will I keep it? The government wants it. The thieves want it. My family wants it. Everybody wants my money. How will I hold on to it? And if you don't have money, that's also a big problem. How will I feed my family? How will I pay my bills? So what is the solution? We offer money in Krishna's service. Make your home a temple. Buy bhoga to serve the deities. Invite devotees to your home to feed devotees. Take care of your children. Educate your children. Get your children married. That costs money. But it is service to Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis. So money is never a problem for a devotee because we know what to do with it. So anashitya karma phalam. The fruit of labor means our paycheck. So we're obliged to do that. Karyam karma korojita. That don't be attached to the fruits of labor and don't disregard working in this world. Karyam karma means obligatory work. If you're a married man with children, you're obliged to work. It doesn't mean that Krishna will be pleased. Okay, sorry, my dear wife, sorry, my dear kids, goodbye, I'm going to do bhajan in Vrindavan. Will Krishna be pleased? He's not pleased. Karyam karma korojita. Sasanyasicha yogicha. This person who doesn't take shelter in the fruits of labor, yet works as he's obligated, is in the renounced order of life, not the person who lights no fire and performs no work. This is Krishna's definition of sannyas. How to please him in every aspect of life. So, household life breeds attachment. This is the problem. That your kids are saying, I love you, Daddy. Husband says, I love you, dear. Dear says, I love you, Pati Prabhu. It breeds attachment. So externally, we can be attached. Priyavata is a great, inconceivably powerful personality. And this is instructed how he was renounced, then he became attached, and we're going to read how he became renounced. So this is the process of grihastha life. You're brahmachari, strict brahmachari. You can marry. Lucky ones don't marry, don't get entangled in the whole complicated life of grihastha ashram. But there is future also for grihastha life. Because we have to become detached. We shouldn't misunderstand that point. The grihastha life is not a goal unto itself. Now I'm married, I've got money, I've got kids, I've got position, nice bank balance, everything's good. But that can be finished in a minute. Can be finished in a minute. A close friend of mine went with his wife to California to observe the birthday of her father. So they're sitting at the table, cake, ice cream, balloons, happy time, happy birthday, happy birthday. In a moment, great happiness turned into extreme grief. She fell out of her chair, dead. In a moment. Cerebral thrombosis, had a brain hemorrhage, fell out of her chair, gone. This is the material world. We forget this. What is the nature of this world? How long can we stay? Even in the most congenial, happy, harmonious relationship between husband and wife, or with children also, one of them will die, other one will cry. Either husband dies and wife cries, or wife dies and husband cries. Is this not the truth, the naked truth of material existence? So keep this in your consciousness also. You can't maintain happy family life because the whole thing, Kalusmi Bharatashaba, Krishna says, I am time and I've come to destroy everything. Mrityu sarvaharas chaham. I am death, he says. I've come to take everything. So we should understand this carefully. Grihastha life is very nice. Prosperous life, happy life with wife and children, but you cannot stay there. So the process is, become detached before life takes everything away from you. We don't like to hear these things, but are they not true? We should keep this in the back of our mind. So externally, we're very responsible. We should feel affection for wife and children, but internally we should remain very, very detached. Srila Prabhupada writes in a very interesting purport, Krenkunti pe twayi me nande bishaya matir madupate sakrit ratim udvahata adha gange bhauga mudanvati. Said, let my attraction flow to you as the Ganges flows towards the sea without obstruction. Powerful Ganga flows towards the sea without obstruction. Let my attraction flow towards you in the same way. Srila Prabhupada writes in the purport, quote, perfection of pure devotional service is attained when all attention is diverted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. To cut off the tie of all other affection does not mean complete negation of the finer elements, like affection for someone else. This is not possible. You understand? Prabhupada is saying, you can't completely cut off affection. You're going to come home from work, don't talk to me, you're Maya. You're going to say that to your wife? Don't talk to me, you're Maya. Krishna says, just behold the mighty power of my Maya in the form of woman. Don't talk to me, you're Maya. Is that correct? No. Devotees should have loving feeling for each other, especially in family life. But not lusty feeling for each other. Love is not lust. Lust is not love. So Prabhupada says here, it is not possible to cut off affection. A living being, whoever he may be, must have this feeling of affection for others because this is a symptom of life. The symptoms of life, such as desire, anger, hankerings, feelings of attraction, etc., cannot be annihilated. Only the objective has to be changed. Desire cannot be negated. But in devotional service, the desire is changed only for the service of the Lord in place of desire for sense gratification. The so-called affection for family, society, country, etc. consists of different phases of sense gratification. When this desire is changed for the satisfaction of the Lord, it is called devotional service. So what does that mean practically? That you can live in family life in the context of devotional service. Prabhupada said that a husband can call his wife Devi out of respect for her. A wife can call her husband Pati Prabhu out of respect for him. Devotional sentiment, not honey, sweetie, baby, I love you. How long can that last? This is called cathexis. This is newlywed stuff. How long can that last? When it's to get beyond that, what are we, it's blood, and it's skin, and it's fat, and it's hair, and it's bones. What are we attracted? We're actually attracted to the Atma, the soul. Why are we attracted to the soul? Because Mavayavam so jiva loke, jiva bhuta sanatan. The soul is part and parcel of Krishna. We want to love Krishna. If we develop our love for Krishna, our attachment for body wanes. Attachment for sense gratification wanes, and we have spiritual relationship with other Atmas. And that actual loving feeling, not based on sense gratification, gives 100 times more satisfaction than the insignificant gratification of senses. This is how to spiritualize family life. To see, wife is a devotee, she's Krishna's, she's not mine. Children, they belong to Krishna, let me push them forward for Krishna. This is spiritual life, Krishna conscious, Grihastha life. Prabhupada continues in the purport. I skipped part of it, but talking about Kunti, Maharani, her affection for the Pandavas and the Vrishnis is not out of the range of devotional service. She has affection on both sides of the family. Husband's side, her side. So Prabhupada is saying not out of the range of devotional service because the service of the Lord and the service of the devotees are identical. Service of the Lord and service of the devotees are identical. family members should all be Krishna conscious as far as possible. Then serving them is equated with serving the Lord. Sometimes service to the devotee is more valuable than service to the Lord. But here the affection of Kunti Devi for the Pandavas and Vishnus was due to family relation. This tie of affection in terms of material relation is the relation of Maya, because the relations of the body or mind are due to the influence of the external energy. Relations of the soul, established in relation with the Supreme Soul, are factual relations. When Kunti Devi wanted to cut off the family relation, she meant to cut off a relation of the skin. The skin relation is the cause of material bondage, but the relation of the soul is the cause of freedom. This relation of the soul to the soul can be established by the medium of relation with the Super Soul. Again, it's all about changing our consciousness. So these verses talking about Maharaj Priyavrata, how he became attached, and how is it possible for him to enjoy family life? Because internally he's not enjoying family life. Externally, he's playing the part of an attached husband, a father, a king. Internally, he's only attached to Krishna. So we'll read more about this, but this is the basic principle we learn from these sections. Family life is described, griham andakupam, a dark well. If you fall into that well, you will die. But we see examples of many Vaishnavas who don't die. And we see more than that, examples of devotees that never get involved in it. This is the highest thing. This is why we do pranam to the brahmacharis, the sannyasis, because they never got involved in it. They avoid the whole thing beginning to end. This is good fortune. More good fortune than happy family life. No attachment. Simply Krishna. Guru's service, service to humanity, service to God, Guru, and humanity. Instead of to children, to wife, to job, to car, to apartment, to bills, to all the different complexities of Grihastha life. So both things have the same objective. Sannyas life and Grihastha life. Don't misunderstand. Grihastha life is not meant exclusively for sense gratification. Curb down the propensity for sense gratification by maximizing our connection with devotional life, with Krishna. Because that is the eternal reality. The temporary reality of family life cannot go on forever. So thank you very much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai. Anyone has any comment or question? Prabhuji? You have a microphone? Just speak up, speak loudly. He has the microphone. That's all right, let him have it because he has to translate. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Speak in Hindi?
हिंदी
हिंदी भाषा.
प्रभु जी जैसे हम चाहे गृहस्थ में हो या ब्रह्मचारी में हो, so our main point is attachment to Guru's instruction. So अगर there is no guide for us, then we can divert any time. So how can we strengthen our attachment to Guru, spiritual master instruction?
How to
strengthen our attachment to Guru.
To do what for Guru?
Guru's instructions.
To increase your attachment for Guru's instructions. Can you speak in Hindi also?
हम अपने गुरु स्पिरिचुअल मास्टर गुरु के लिए कैसे अपनी आसक्ति को बढ़ाएं, उनके इंस्ट्रक्शंस को.
By understanding it's by Guru's instructions that liberate us from this world. Guru Mukha Padmavakya Chite Te Korya Aikya. We pray like this. Ana Kurya Mane. Why? Because Chakudhan Diloje Janme Janmi Prabhu say. Guru Vani, Guru Vakya is an eternal principle. It's not that while we're here in this world we're getting instruction, then we go back to Goloka and bye-bye Guru? No. We're serving Guru eternally. Janme Janme Prabhu say. In this kingdom of God, everyone is serving Krishna in relationship with one's Guru. Without getting into a whole... Excuse me. In the spiritual... For example, Gopikas are making this pan with different flavorful spices and saffron and katechu and kuchuna, katha, put clove to hold it together, lavanga tika. They're making this, cowherd boys are offering, someone's making, someone's offering, someone's under instruction that you do this, even the simplest thing. Sudevi's service is just to do water. Lalita is just fanning. Her whole life, her whole service, fanning Radha Krishna. Why? Under instruction from somebody else. In the spiritual world, it's not a free-for-all, just do whatever you want. I made it, now I'm done, I don't have to follow instructions anymore. We follow instructions eternally. As it is here, it is there. So to get there, you have to follow instructions here. You understand? Without accepting instructions of spiritual master, how you get there? You cannot. And when we return to the kingdom of God, we're also serving Radha Krishna under the instructions of our Guru. Even there's a nice story about Srinivasacharya. Srinivasacharya would do meditation. He was also married. He had 2 wives actually. Don't misunderstand that he was essentially a sensual person. He was not at all. He'd do meditation every day, 3-4 hours, go into meditation, and in meditation he's serving Radha Krishna. One night, he doesn't come out of meditation. Night becomes the morning, morning becomes the next night, night becomes the next morning. His wife is becoming concerned. His breathing is becoming shallow. He's not opening his eyes. He's gone. Where is he? He may die. So they called his foremost acharya, Ramchandra Kaviraj. So Ramchandra Kaviraj, also a very great devotee, he sat down next to his guru and said, let me understand what is happening. So he goes into meditation and he goes to Radha Kund. And he sees the gopis and the flowers, the festival, everything's going on. And he sees his guru in his manjari form searching in Radha Kund, trying to find something, diving in, trying to find something. Because Srimati Radharani had lost her nose ring. So he also begins to search how to find Srimati Radharani's nose ring. So he finds it and he gives to his guru, who gives to Rupa Manjari. Rupa Manjari fixes it on Radharani's nose. So there's a hierarchy. You just can't approach Radha Krishna directly. You approach Radha Krishna through your guru, through her guru or his guru, and ultimately to Radha Krishna. So as we receive instructions here, reality is in the spiritual world in a similar way. Gopi Bhatu Padakamalur Dasa 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 Anu Dasa. Mahaprabhu said, I'm simply servant to the servant of the servant to the servant of Krishna. 100 times removed servant of Krishna, who is the maintainer of the gopis, Gopi Bhatu. So we serve Krishna here in relationship with Guru, following his instruction. And when we're liberated, return to the kingdom of God, we serve Krishna under your Guru. This is eternal principle. Therefore, Vani Seva is eternal. Vani Seva means serving the instructions of Guru. Vapu Seva is temporary. This body can't stay. Guru's body can't stay. It's temporary. Vani Seva is everything. So we say, Guru Mukha Padma Vakya Chetete Koriya Aikya Arna Koriya Manehasha. Let my mind become one with that. Let that become my governing principle of my life, to serve the instructions of my Guru. Here and there. Is okay? Anything else? Thank you very much. Grantaraj Srimad-Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Nitai Gaur.
थैंक यू प्रभु जी, नाइस क्लास. एंड कल भी प्रभु जी का क्लास सुबह होगा 8 बजे से, तो आप सब भक्त लोग उसका लाभ उठाए, सुंदर क्लास का. हरे कृष्ण. ऐसे ठीक था इंग्लिश कंटिन्यूअस या ट्रांस? अच्छा, मैं ट्रांसलेट कर रहा था। अच्छा, माता जी लोग के लिए भी कर लेंगे। ठीक है, ठीक है, ठीक है। माता जियों के लिए भी ट्रांसलेशन का कर लेंगे। अच्छा।